What's up, everybody at Drumeo.com? This is Matt Gretter here, broadcasting from beautiful San Bruno, California. Now, I've never posted an instructional video before, so I'm going to do the best I can to teach you what this lesson is about, which is what I call the triplet fill. This idea actually came about from my most recent video, The Seeker by The Who, and I was doing what I call the triplet fill, and a fellow Drumeo Edge member named Dave Warfell, please correct me if I'm correcting your last name correctly, but he was asking about this fill that I was doing right around 2 minutes and 25 seconds into the video, and you said that you kept playing it back like 10 times in a row, and I was taken back when you mentioned that, because I've never had anyone ask me to post an instructional video on a particular fill. So, well, this is what this video is all about, is explaining how that fill came together and what it actually consists of. So, let's dive into it. So let me explain a little bit on how the idea for this fill originated. My favorite band, Rush, had a R30 DVD released in 2004 for their 30th anniversary tour, and this song was featured on that DVD. And I was watching Neil, their drummer, for those who don't know, play this song, and then he got into the section of the video of which I'm talking about right now, and I was listening to him play this fill right at the part that Dave pointed out. And I was trying to hear what he was doing, but I couldn't see what he was doing because the camera shot that they had at that particular point was not ideal for observing what was going on. So I was left to hear what he was trying to do. So I thought to myself, well, maybe I could try to come up with something maybe a little bit simpler, but sounds relatively similar to what Neil was doing. So, in a nutshell, that's pretty much how the triplet fill came to be. So, why don't I just start playing for you guys and show you how this fill actually sounds and what it looks like. Let's do it. Alright, now let's start to learn how to actually play this fill. Like I mentioned in the last segment, I was watching Neil Peart of Rush play this section of the song on the R30 DVD, but I couldn't really see what he was playing because the camera shot that you see in that DVD was not ideal for observing exactly what he was doing. So I was left to just kind of try and hear what he was doing. And I thought to myself, well, why don't I try to come up with something similar to what he was playing that kind of has a simpler feel to it, because I'm nowhere near the level that he is. So I thought, okay, why not try to come up with something simpler but has the same kind of essence that he was playing in the DVD. So as I was listening to him play, I heard it sounded like a triplet pattern that he was playing. At least that's what I interpreted from the fill that he was doing in that particular section. So I thought, okay, why don't I base my fill, the triplet fill, with a simple triplet pattern. And I started playing this fill only on the snare drum so I can just get the pattern down. And I'm actually going to play that for you right now. Just on the snare drum, this is what the triplet pattern would look and sound like. Here we go. Okay, so that's the triplet fill pattern played simply. Now, I played that pattern longer than it actually is in the song, but that was just to give you an idea of what the pattern really is and what it's all about. So, okay, then I thought to myself, now that I have the pattern down on the snare drum, why don't I try to spice it up a little bit, as our ace instructor Dave Atkinson would say, let's spice things up, guys. So I thought, okay, now that I have the pattern on the snare drum, why don't I try alternating my right hand around the toms? And one thing that I wanted to try and keep in mind when hitting the toms was that my right arm did not feel unnatural. That when I moved my hand, it was a natural flow that came naturally to it, that didn't feel like it was being stretched in a weird way, like if I were to move like this, like from the high tom to the floor tom, my arm feels kind of strained and hunched in when I'm coming to the floor tom. So I thought, okay, why don't I try something, or choose an order of the toms to make it feel seamless, that it feels natural to me. So I thought, okay, coming from the high tom to the floor tom is going to be problematic as far as how my right arm is going to feel. So I thought, okay, why don't I try the mid tom and the low tom? And before I even played anything, I was just moving my hand around from floor, mid to floor, mid to floor, mid to floor. And it feels very natural. My arm doesn't feel like it's being overworked as if I were going to hit the high tom and floor tom. So it feels great. And so I thought, okay, this is going to be my updated version, from coming from the high tom, do the snare part, and then hit the floor tom, snare part again, and then downbeat on the next bar with the crash and kick drum. So this is the updated version of the triplet fill. So here's what it looks like with just my right hand moving from the mid tom to the snare, and then the floor tom, and then crashing on the downbeat of the next bar. So here it is. Okay, now that's one step closer to the final version of the triplet fill. So, again, what we just went over was the alternating of the right hand between the mid tom, snare, floor tom, and then crash again. So now, after a while of studying this updated version, I thought, okay, maybe I could spice it up even more. So I thought, okay, what else can I do while I'm doing the pattern of alternating my right hand between the mid tom and floor tom? And I thought, okay, I noticed that on my left hand I'm doing accents on the snare drum. So it's so I was playing like this before. So how about with the accents that I was doing on the snare drum, I now do those on the high tom. So what I'm pretty much doing now is that this is just the idea played simply right here. And I practiced that very slowly at first because it was pretty awkward to be moving my left hand, my weak hand, from the snare to the high tom. So I practiced that slowly at first to get the hang of it, and then after a while of practicing it slow, I built up the speed slowly but surely until I got to the speed at which the tempo of the seeker is played. So this here is a demonstration of what the final fill looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that very section of the song that has the fill in it. So I'm going to play a bar and a half of the groove that is featured in the song, with the kick drum on 1 and the snares on 1 and 3 and the snare on 2 and 4. And then the half of the second bar is going to be the groove once again, but then for the second half of the bar, the half bar fill, which is what the triplet fill really is, it is a half bar fill, then that's what I'm going to play. So, doom doom da, doom doom da da, doom doom da, doom da da doom. So that is what I'm going to demonstrate right now. So this is how it is played. That is the triplet fill. It is such a wonderful fill to play given the right circumstances, and in my personal opinion, that song, The Seeker, is the perfect opportunity to play that fill. And like I said before, it is an absolute blast to play. It can add a lot of flavor to a lot of scenarios. So that pretty much wraps it up for this lesson. So if any of you have any questions whatsoever on anything that you happen to see in any of my cover videos or maybe my original song ideas, please just let me know either by commenting on my video feed, Matt Gretter, or by sending me a personal message via Drumeo.com, or, well, because unfortunately, on October 9th, I won't be a member of Drumeo anymore because of some financial commitments I need to complete. But I promise you, I still will be making videos during my time off from Drumeo. And if any of you guys have any questions during that time, I can be reached at my email address at mattgretter@yahoo.com. If you guys have any questions during my time away from Drumeo that you want me to demonstrate, or have any questions whatsoever on anything, so please just let me know at least through October 19th. You can still let me know through the Drumeo website, either by commenting on my video feed or sending a personal message from Drumeo.com, and anytime after October 19th, I can be reached by my email address, which is once again mattgretter@yahoo.com. I hope to see you guys in the very next video. It's been a fun lesson here, at least for me, my first instructional video. I've never done it before. It was a lot of fun, and I really hope to see you guys in the next video. See you guys later. Bye.